What's going on, guys? JPB Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And for today's matchup, I'm bringing you an Adventures Pranks versus an Evil Twin with me as the prankster going first. Now, keep in mind, this is not the deck list that I give to you guys when you ask me for my deck list. I am experimenting with different decks in my rank match because I am Diamond 1, but the deck I used to climb to Diamond 1 is the one I'm showing you guys. But if you guys want my other deck list, the one that I'm currently using in this video, you guys can ask me for it in the comment section below and I'll link it to you guys. So anyways, I go about with my combo. My opponent tries to maxi me, which I do end up negating with my crossout designator, but my opponent's side of the field kept getting highlighted for every move that I made. So I'm thinking maybe he had a nib in his hand, maybe he had an imperm in his hand, maybe he even had an effect veiler in his hand. So I try to do the whole combo with one card. You guys will see right now. I go through 2 copies of my Doodle-Doo. I will be banishing the Artifact Lancia from my hand. Don't want to keep it. It could be a really good card to keep, but it's just that I have way more important cards in my hand, and I do want to get the Prankets Prank recycle to hopefully draw into something useful. Also with the Roxy's draw, I was hoping to draw into a combo extension as well. Sadly, did not draw into it. Now right here, I did have Thunder Dragon Fusion in my hands, but I decided not to use it. Why? Because again, my opponent could still have nibbed me, his side of the field was getting highlighted, so I was trying to save my Thunder Dragon Fusion in case my opponent nibs me. Second reason being that if you put your Butler on the field that turn itself, your opponent can easily start their turn by Forbidden Dropletting it or Imperming it. That means your Butler pop will not go through. Another thing is that you want to have Butler on your opponent's turn because that way you get 2 dropsies on the field. So basically you would end up with having more materials on the field once you're done with your Butler combo. Now the cons to that is that if my opponent just outright Call by the Graves my Bow Bark activation, that means my Butler combo is done. I cannot go into my Butler combo afterwards. So my opponent could even be playing a Lava Golem, so if I put my Butler on the field right now on my turn, he could Lava Golem it or Kaiju it, take my Butler away. So there are pros and cons to this play. It's up to you guys to decide how you want to make the play happen. I chose not to use my Thunder Dragon Fusion right now, saved it in my hand for maybe my next turn, or maybe if I want to do a combo extension, go for the OTK in next turn itself as well. So I end my turn, set down my Forbidden Droplet, set down my Pandemonium, activate Pranks, recycle 3, draw into a call by, pretty useless card as it is in my hand right now. I activate Bow Wow on my opponent's draw phase. My opponent proceeds to Call by the Grave it instantly. That means I will not be having my Butler access whatsoever. Thankfully, I did draw into a Dropsies, so now I know my opponent is playing Evil Twin. Once he normals out the Leela, what I do right there is I Chain Link 1 my Pandemonium, Chain Link 2 my Forbidden Droplet, sending the Pandemonium to the graveyard. It still activates, and my opponent cannot trigger any spell cards in response to my Forbidden Droplet, so he cannot cross-designator it out. That way, I negate my opponent's Leela's effect, which will be bringing a Keysickle on the field, and it allows me to go into my Weather Washer as well. So that way, Weather Washer can tribute itself, pull out 2 cards from my graveyard onto the field. That way, I'll have more materials to use for my next turn. With this, he had the Snitch, he does have the combo extension, so it did not matter even if I Forbidden Dropleted him now or later, because if he had the Snitch in his hand, even if I Forbidden Dropleted his Keysickle play to get the Leela on the field go into his combo, he would still be able to do the whole play afterwards anyways. So this right here made him stop going into his full combo. What my opponent decided to do is go into a straight up Zeus. So he goes into his Xyz, the Sky's Cavalry, attacks into my Lamseys, kills it off, goes into the Downward Magician, and that's going to be a 4 freaking material Zeus that my opponent will put on the field. Now right here, I wanted to bait out my opponent's Zeus. So what do? I still activate my Weather Washer to put as many materials on the field as possible, so that would make my opponent pop one of his Zeus pops. So I successfully bait out one of his Zeus pops. Next up, I go into my draw phase, draw into my Adventures engine. So now right here, I go into my Adventures engine. Now I have to think, can I bait out his Zeus without going into my Thunder Dragon Fusion? Because my end play in my head was that I need to use Thunder Dragon Fusion to put my butler on the field, period. That was my end play I was going for. So what did I do? I got the token, my opponent did not activate Zeus. So the next plan in my head is I have to bait out the Zeus with my Draco back. So I activate the adventure, search for the Griffin, which will special out the Griffin afterwards. My opponent decides that, it's enough, he does not want to see any more shenanigans from my side. Pops his Zeus, sends all the cards on the field aside from itself to the graveyard. I special out the Griffin, activate the Thunder Dragon Fusion, put my butler on the field, face up defense, mind you. I was not going to go into battle phase. I cannot kill this card, so I chose to put both my cards in defense to play around Lightning Storm. My opponent draws a card, goes into battle phase, kills off the Griffin. That's okay with me, I don't care. Sets down 2 cards, ends his turn. Now, mind you, the reason why I did not pop my butler right here is because I do not have a Meowmoo in the graveyard. Remember, in turn 2, we activated the Weather Washer, banished our 1 copy of Meowmoo in the graveyard to get as many materials as possible on the field to make him pop one of his Zeus pops. So that's the reason why I did not activate my butler to pop his Zeus. I wanted to keep at least 1 card on the field, that way it becomes a threat to my opponent. Then I draw into my Fansies by activating my Thunder Dragon Fusion. With that card, start going into my combo. I'm thinking maybe he had a Call by the Grave or Imperm on the field because his side of the field was getting highlighted over and over and over when I was going into this play on my side. So I'm thinking maybe he wants to use that, maybe he wants to negate some of my stuff, but he chose not to activate anything, so I'm going about into my combo. Activate my Doodle-Doo, target my Pranks. We need our Pranks in our hand at this point, guys. If you are in a grindy matchup, make sure to always have Pranks active on the field, otherwise you will end up losing the game. You need the Pranks recycle power in a grindy matchup as this one when I am playing against Evil Twins. So right here I use Pandemonium, go into Rocket Ride, tribute itself, pull out 2 cards from the graveyard, put on the field, and I thought since my opponent had a back row set, why not just go into my Roaster. So I do just that, then activate the Roxy's, hoping to draw into a combo extension, did not draw into any, drew into a Garnet, but that's okay. Go into my end phase, activate Pranks, recycle 3, that's pretty much it for me. So again, I did not hit my opponent's Zeus. Why? Because now I have 1 copy of Meowmoo in the graveyard. So I need the pop of the back row set first, which I am doing right now by banishing my Meowmoo, and I wanted to keep my butler on the field in case he draws into his combo starter card so I could start killing those cards off. Also, I could not tribute or sacrifice the Roaster by bumping it into Zeus. Again, as I said, we need the back row clear. So I do just that in draw phase. This is not the main phase. All this is happening in draw phase. So I kill that off, and the card my opponent activates is the Evil Twin Challenge. What this card does, it targets 1 key signal Leela monster in the graveyard, specials it on the field. And after this effect completely resolves, then you could use materials on the field to link summon using your Evil Twin cards on the field. I did not want, it did not go through, and he normals out the effect veiler. So right here, I just used my butler pop his field. I do not want him going into his combo. He was probably going to go into Predator Plant to put DP on the field that way. Did not want to deal with any of that. So use my butler, pop it. My opponent ends his turn, and on my turn, Artifact lands, he has me. But I already have enough damage on the field as is with my normal summon of Celestial to kill him. So I don't even bother going into my combo and just outright kill my opponent with that. That's going to be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily prank and video uploads, and if you guys are interested in a live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBDuel signing off for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!